out so late?
Oh, just taking a walk. May I ask what you're wearing?
What do you mean?
Do you need some money for some real clothes?
No, thank you.
Are you sure? Aren't you cold, dude?
No, thank you. I live a life of poverty.
Bro, that's lit. What's your name?
My name's Francis. What's your
You mean the Francis? As in the Francis of Assisi?
Yes, what's your name?
Cassandra.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions inside?
Oh, not at all. Thank you so much for the socks.
No problem. May I ask how old you are?
I was born in 1182 in Assisi.
How's life in Assisi?
My family and I were very wealthy.
How'd you come to live a life of poverty?
Well, when I was 20 years old, I was a soldier in the war between the cities of Perugia and Assisi, and I was taken prisoner and held captive for a year until my ransom was paid and I was set free. That experience changed my life for the better and made me realize that wealth and possession didn't satisfy me.
Wow, cool story. Do you have any more stories?
Yeah, many.
Do you mind sharing?
Oh, not at all. Do you have any suggestions?
What about the one with the leper? What even is a leper?
A leper is a person who's very sick, and they look very sick, and people tend to stay very far away from them.
So what's the story?
Well, one day, after I returned home from imprisonment, I encountered a leper, and I saw the love of God in them, and so I embraced and kissed them.
Wow, how God-centered.
What does that mean to you?
Well, as Matthew 22, verse 37 through 40 says, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself."
I love that passage.
You went from being very self-centered to God-centered throughout your life. You completely gave up your old life and devoted yourself to God and to others. I heard you were a very big influence on the rebuilding of the church.
Well, one day, I heard God's voice say to me, "Go and rebuild my church."
Francis, rebuild my church.
And I thought that he meant to build a church that was physical, but what he really meant is to build a church out of new and non-corrupt people from the ground up. So I gathered people and I started to preach and reform using visual aids like plays to really communicate God's message to his people.
So would you say you embodied Christ in those acts?
I try to embody Christ in everything that I do.
That's awesome. You have an amazing story. You touched many people's hearts and drew them closer to God.
Thank you. To build a church and reform it so that the
Yep, same. Same. Relatable. You went from being, oh my God, I give up. Do you have any more stories?
yes, many.
Do you? I'm so sorry.
When I was 20 years old, I was a soldier in the war between the cities of Perugia and Assisi. I hate you so much. Let me see this video. Oh wait, and then cut it.
Are you sure? Aren't you cold, dude?
No, thanks. I live a life of poverty.
Just taking a walk. May I ask what you're wearing?
What do you mean? Mom, leave. Did you get that on video?
Yeah. Skirt. Do you have any more stories?
Snap out of it!
Dude, can we just practice it?
Thank you so much for the socks.
You're welcome. May I ask how old you are?
I was born in 1182 in Assisi.
Why are you yelling?
Because I'm trying to mute out the people over there.
I was like, oh, just...
Please rebuild my church.
Cut.
Okay. Francis, rebuild my church.
Cut.
When you give mom and dad the phone.
Francis, please rebuild my church.
That was a good one, Dad.
Francis, Get off your butt, Francis, and rebuild my church!